So I just gave a lesson to a gentleman and I showed him a move that gained him 20 yards with his 8-iron that I want to show you today. I just got done with the lesson and he termed it the miracle move to start the downswing. I thought, you know, with my brain, oh, boom, perfect YouTube video. So I wanted to share this with you, sort of a recap of what we did and something you can do to start the downswing to gain some distance, get some solid contact back. Now, the gentleman that came in was struggling with contact, like most people who do that come in to see me, say, hey, Eric, listen, I want to be more consistent. I just want to have 1 or 2 main fields. Help me hit it better, hit it farther, and I'll walk you through what we did as you're watching. If you are interested in us doing some live lessons, I can start recording some of these. Leave a comment down below. Would you like to see me doing some live lessons? You can actually see how we work through it instead of a recap here. But here's what happened. Now I've got an 8-iron here, got the TrackMan set up, and the gentleman came in and was hitting balls and was really struggling with the contact, the ball going too short and to the right. So his initial 8-irons he were hitting were about 145 yards. I'm gonna see if I can replay his motion here. 145 yards. And what happened is the ball would kind of go weak and to the right. Okay, so I overdid it, 107. But the ball would go similar to this. It'd kind of go weak and to the right. And the first thing that I noticed, or there's 2 things that was just similar to this. Number 1, his face to path was way too open. His club face angle was too open. And number 2, his dynamic loft was way too high. And what I saw with this gentleman, and I see this a lot, is when they start the downswing, he's actually twisting the club face open, which from the face on, if we look at the toe and the heel, straight up and down is square. Anytime the toe gets behind the heel, that would be too open. So he was, with his arms, hands, and wrists, actually twisting the club face open. Now, because he's twisting the club face open, obviously his face was too open. The ball would curve off to the right. He would struggle with distance. He had decent speed, but his 8-iron was going like 145 yards. Now, by the time I showed him these moves here, by the time we're at the end, he was hitting the ball more like this with his 8-iron closer to 160 yards with a much stronger ball flight. So there we have 169, 174. Now you're going to notice the differences. Now I hit a little bit of a pull draw. That's probably only 20 feet to the left. Now my club face is close to the path, 2.8, and my dynamic loft is 23. I think the first shot was 31, right? So I went from 31 to 23, let's call that 8 degrees. I took this 8-iron, where he was previously adding 8 degrees of loft, and I took that down, right? So I was able to add some shaft lean. Ultimately, that's the piece that's going to get the contact good and add some distance. Now, how did we do it? We did it by twisting the grip the opposite way that he currently was, okay? So follow with me here. He went up to the top of his swing, and see if you do this too, he would twist the toe behind the heel. So the back of his hand would be pointed up towards the sky, the right palm would be pointed up towards the sky. What I wanted him to do is twist the club face close, and this is the movement that the best players do to start the downswing. Twist the club face closed, the toe in front of the heel. Notice the back of my hand and my right palm are now pointed slightly down towards the ground. Twist it closed. Twist it closed. Now notice as I'm doing that, my club head's still inside my hands. Twist it closed. What that does for me is that's going to close my face to path and lower the dynamic loft so I can hit the ball more solid and more towards a draw bias. So let's see with a little better aim here. What we did is we took our setup and we used the hanger. I'll show you that in a minute as an optional piece. We would go up to the top of his swing. I said, okay, now let's twist the club face closed. Feel like the right palm and the logo point more away from you or down towards the ground. Let's get the toe in front of the heel. But while we do it, the club head needs to be inside my hands, okay? So from this angle, twist the toe in front of the heel, right? And that was his main concept, sort of like you're twisting like a screwdriver, right? Or a doorknob or motorcycle, left or right wrist. Up to the top, twist the club face closed. Let's go ahead and hit with that first. And what that should produce are balls that curve from right to left, right? A club face that's close to the path and a dynamic loft that's lower, right? So with an 8-iron, I would like to see at my club head speed and his, you know, nothing above 25 would be pretty darn good in terms of contact. So twisting the club face closed. Up to the top of the swing, twist the club face closed. So my left wrist feels like it's bowing, my right wrist feels like it's bending back, and both of them feel like they're pointed down. Again, note, my right arm's not straight with the club out this way. as we're doing this, the right arm stays bent and under my left. Twist the club face closed. Twist the club face closed. Club head's inside my hands, right arm underneath my left. And we were working through this, and we gained 20 yards with his 8-iron in about 30 minutes it took to do this. Twist the club face closed to start down. And really, when he's going through, and I overdid that one a little bit, but even there, the point is for him who hit the ball weak in this way, I'm overdoing the twisting the club face closed to kind of feel that and show that. Face is too close to the path. My dynamic loft is too low, but guess what? I hit that 175 yards, and that ball probably went, 30 feet to the left. So still, he would be happy with that, right? And I said that to him, hey, twist it closed, overdo it to the left, twist it closed, overdo it to the left. To see the opposite of what your ball flight is. How do I know how much to twist it? Well, I base it off the ball flight. I already twist it good, so I'm overdoing it for the sake of the video. When you overdo it, you'll hit some pull hooks, but guess what? They're gonna go way farther and they're solid, and then you can find middle ground, meaning just twist it a little bit less, and or, now that the club face is closed earlier, you don't have to close it so much through impact. You can be much more passive with your release pattern. The best players close the club face early and then are passive through the release. The worst players open the club face early, they close it late, and they're very active through the release. Let me say that again. The best players close it the earliest and are more passive through release. The worst players close it the latest and are more active through the release. So in the initial 30 days he has, I'm like, listen, pull hooks are gonna be okay. Get rid of weak right, get rid of weak right. But then over time, he can just twist it less, or after he twists it early, club inside the hands, right? So my club path is still to the right. Then through impact, I can be much more passive with the club face angle. So let's see if I can do twist it earlier, more passive through the hit, a push draw pattern. Yeah, that felt really nice. So there we go. That was perfect. That's about 170 yard 8-iron, face 2.4 close, dynamic loft under 25. That's probably 5 feet to the left. Now, in the beginning with him, I did use this hanger. You guys may have seen this in our previous videos. I've got a link down in the description with a coupon code if you want to try this out. The reason I like this, I would set this up just to the right of his forearm. For him, I had him go up to the top, and he's like, hey, how do I feel the twist when I'm by myself? So Eric, when I'm not with you doing this, how do I feel? I threw the hanger on, my 7-iron, and you can see where that is compared to my arm. If I twist it closed, that hanger gets pushed up against my arm. If I don't twist it closed and the toe behind the heel, the hanger's off the arm. So we had this in, boom, twist it closed, get the toe in front of the heel, and then feel like the hanger keeps pressing against. So we hit, I put the hanger on with them for probably another 20 minutes. So the first 30 minutes, we got the 20 yards. And then we put this on at the end just to make sure that he could do this by himself. So I set it up just inside the right forearm, pressing against the left, press it more against, pressing against the left, press it more against, and then keep it pressed through impact where the feels. This is going to lower your dynamic loft, close the face to path, and be hitting solid draws. You want to close it earlier and more passive through release. And that's the beautiful thing I like about this is you can hit balls with it. Actually, hit this on. So if you want the hanger, I'm going to put the link in the hanger in the description down below. I wanted to share this with you. I literally just got done doing this lesson. Let me know in the comments section, would you like more of this sort of lesson recaps, things you can do, and or I can start recording these lessons when we're in here and get you some of the TrackMan numbers. So the point here, one more time, you want to close the club face early in your downswing. You do that with your arms, hands, wrists. As you do it, you need to make sure the club head stays behind your hands. Right, so my right elbow is underneath my left. And the more you close it earlier, so you don't get the pull hooks, is you can be more passive with the release. This applies to all clubs, driver included. If you struggle with weak right, you want to learn to twist the club earlier. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions down below. All right, thanks for watching the video. If you watched all the way till the end here, I'm going to play a little video with this hanger training aid. If you guys haven't seen the hanger training aid, and the reason why we put in so many videos is because it works so good. Not only do I use it all the time in our personal lessons, on our online lessons, but I use it with my own swing, and legitimately me using this and hitting balls with it on, I've gained like literally a full club with all of my irons. The compression is much better. It really helps with the wrist angle. So check this video out. We'll put the details in the description down below. If you have any questions about the hanger, leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer them, because I know this is one of very few training aids I've tried that will genuinely really help your ball striking. Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about the hanger training aid. I absolutely love this. I firmly believe that this is good for every single golfer. This hanger here creates and controls what I think is the most important part of the swing, which is the wrist angle. It snaps right on. It takes me probably 30 seconds to put on. I can put it right in my golf bag, and best of all is you can hit balls with it. You can actually hit balls with it. So I love this hanger training aids. Look at when I do that well, how that sits on my forearm. Now watch when I cut my wrist, how that comes off. Immediate feedback for where my wrist angle is at. No one that can have too flat of a left wrist. One of the few things that all good ball strikers have, we're trying to have. Flat left wrist, right? Super easy to use, incredible immediate feedback. With the coupon code GogornoGolf.com, it's only $59. You're gonna absolutely love it. We'll put all the details down in the description down below.